Relations and Trade, Honorable Selma Ashipala Musavi, and the delegation. Please remain standing for the singing of the national and AU anthems. Thank you very much. You might be seated. Honorable Selma Ashipala Musavi, Minister of International Relations and Trade, Honorable David Gertse, Governor of the KHARAS region, Her Worship Ms. Annelies Naus, the Mayor of Keetmanshoop in absentia, local and regional councillors of Keetmanstown, traditional leaders present, distinguished CEOs, the representatives of the private sector, captains of industry, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you all. My name is Bertha Makali. I'm the Director of Information and Research, responsible for public diplomacy at the Ministry of International Relations and Trade. This afternoon, I have the privilege to be the Director of Proceedings to ensure that there is a smooth facilitation of our program of the 7th Ministerial Regional Business Engagement by the Ministry of International Relations and Trade in collaboration with the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy. Let me take this opportunity to also welcome our viewers online as we are live streaming this important engagement on television, NBC especially. This live streaming is made possible through a smart partnership between our Ministry of International Relations and Trade together with the NBC Namibian Broadcasting Corporation. We want to actually thank the national broadcaster for coming on board to ensure that no one gets left out from this important engagement. So that is why that our audience can follow the proceedings from their comfort of their houses, whether in their offices or also from their mobile devices and from anywhere else in the world. Just to give you a bit of background about why we are here, in June 2025 this year, the Ministry of International Relations and Trade successfully officially launched trade under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. This, we witnessed the first consignment, especially Namibia, first export of salt to Nigeria in the first African Continental Free Trade Area shipment. That is the moment that actually made us proud. Now, following that launch of trade under the African Continental Free Trade Area, the Ministry of International Relations, in conjunction now with the Minister of Industries, Mines and Energy, thought it wise to commence with a regional business engagement now to provide information about this continental market. And that's why the reason why we are here. Now, these engagements serve as a very critical platform for direct dialogue between the government, officials and the private sector, you, the private sector, and the SMEs. And this is also a perfect opportunity for the traders like you and exporters like you to engage the honorable ministers, our presenters, also on the challenges and opportunities offered by the AfCFTA. So just also to tell you that we are actually going to have all this engagement in all the 14 regions, and already the first engagements have taken place in the Erongo region, and then we went to Ochodonjupa region, Zambezi region. We also went to Kavango West and Kavango East, and yesterday we were in the KHARAS region in Luderitz. And that is why I said it's going to be in all the 14 regions, so nobody is left out. So this afternoon, we are here in the Keetmans, in the KHARAS region, known for natural resources and natural attraction. Let me say, at this moment, let me call upon the Honorable David Gertze, the Governor of the KHARAS region, for his welcoming remark. I thank you. Honorable Governor, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I'm asked to deal with two issues at one go. That is to welcome you and also to make some observations, after which I'm going to introduce the Honorable Minister to the audience. I'm growing older nowadays. At this point, I do not know whether I will have the protocol properly constituted and presented, but Director of Ceremonies, let me first of all welcome the Honorable Selma Ashipala Musavi, the Minister of International Relations and Trade. All the local and regional councillors, as they are probably around. I see representatives from traditional authorities, please feel welcome. CEOs and representatives of the private sector, our captains of industries, senior government officials from the respective ministries and agencies, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I sincerely welcome you for coming up and attending this very important stakeholder engagement, which I believe will share some deep information with us vis-à-vis the area of trade and international relations. So having welcomed you, I believe, there is no way that I can provide names in detail but I think that I've welcomed you duly. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to deliver to you some few remarks, after which I'm going to introduce the speaker that will come after me. This gathering aims to reflect the strong commitment of the government of Namibia to deepen partnerships between public institutions, the private sector, and international stakeholders in order to unlock economic potential and advance inclusive development. The KHARAS region is strategically positioned as Namibia's southern gateway, sharing borders with South Africa and offering direct access to the Orange River, the Port of Lutretz, the key national transport corridors. Our region is richly endowed with opportunities in agriculture, fisheries, mining, renewable energy, logistics, and tourism. With the right partnership and targeted investment, KHARAS can serve as a driver of Namibia's economic growth, regional trade integration, and job creation. This engagement comes at a critical time as Namibia continues to pursue its industrialization and regional integration agenda. Guided by Vision 2030, the Harambee Prosperity Plan, and our national strategies for economic recovery and resilience. In this context, business engagement platforms such as today's serves only not to connect investors with opportunities, but also to align our local strengths with national and international priorities. I wish to emphasize that in the KHARAS region, we are committed to creating an enabling environment for business. And we value partnerships that bring sustainable jobs, skills transfers, and innovation to our communities while safeguarding our natural resources for future generations. I call on all participants to explore the diverse opportunities our region offers, to strengthen cross-border trade, and to build networks that will translate into tangible benefits for our people. Let us ensure that the outcomes of this engagement are action-oriented and contribute meaningfully to Namibia's growth and development. As I'm concluding, I also, from my side, also would want to air a call that we all as leaders, politically, traditionally, and within the social circles, should take note that these engagements are taking place in an environment where human needs are high and poverty destroying the hopes of our people. Our people need jobs, but also opportunities that will enable them to be self-employed and be lifted out of the trap of poverty. We are looking forward to policies that will ensure equitable distribution of wealth from our natural resources. Our people must be relevant, being critical role players in development activities in the South. I can declare that we have got immense local capacity and wisdom to participate meaningfully in the agendas that will be put forward, and we invite the role players and decision makers to take note of this natural wealth that we are sitting with. I will avail my office as always to be the conduit through which these assets can be used and to the maximum, and that in all plans meant for Namibia's growth. I want to also relate at this point in time that we have got a newly elected committee which is chaired by, under the able leadership of Mr. Desmond Desiderius Andreas. He can probably just stand up for us to see, as the chairperson of NNCCI Keetmanshoop branch. Why I do this is also to use this platform to share with you that we have got the requisite capacity and wisdom also in this region, so that in such a way that NNCCI can also play a pivotal role in changing the roles and livelihoods of our people in the South. They are critical role players, and they advocate for fair, equal, and competitive and a conducive environment where wealth should be shared. So I want the ministry and the government to take note that these critical shareholders must be taken in cognizance of what we are about to do. Having said all this, let me at this point in time introduce to you and present to you the Minister of International Relations and Trade with absolutely a massive CV. Honorable Ambassador Selma Ashipala Musavi served as High Commissioner of the Republic of Namibia to Ghana, Sierra Leone, Togo, and Ambassador to Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, and Liberia from 2020 until her appointment as Minister of International Relations and Trade on the 22nd of March this year, 2025. She is an experienced and consummate diplomat who in 2017 was appointed by the United Nations Secretary General to serve on his advisory board on disarmament matters and currently serves as its chair. Before the above, she was appointed as Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Namibia, serving from the 1st of June 2013 to June 30th of June 2020. She also served as the High Commissioner to the Federal Republic of Nigeria from 2010 to 2013 and was concurrently accredited to Ghana from 2012 to 2013, as an ambassador to Liberia from 2011 to 2013, and also accredited as permanent secretary, permanent representative to the Economic Commission with West African states. Ambassador Ashipala Musavi also served as Namibia's ambassador to Austria with concurrent accreditation to Bulgaria, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Slovenia, and Croatia. At the same time, she also served as the permanent representative of the Republic of Namibia to the United Nations office in Vienna from 2006 to 2004. Ambassador Ashipala Musavi also served as Deputy Head of Delegation of Namibia to the United Nations Secretary Council from 1999 to 2000, as the Deputy Permanent Representative of Namibia to the United Nations from 1995 to 2000, and a Counselor at the Permanent Mission of Namibia to the United Nations, New York, from 1991 to 1995, and as a Deputy Director in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs from 1990 to 1991. Our minister, who was then the Ambassador Ashipala Musavi, holds a master's diploma, a degree in diplomatic studies from the Kiel University in UK, and in 1989, and diplomas and certificates from various renowned institutions. On the 23rd of August 2024, His Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, former President of our Republic, awarded Ambassador Ashipala Musavi the Most Excellent Order of the Eagle Second Class for excelling in promoting Namibia abroad and for world center stage achievements. In 2018, she was awarded the Grand Master of the Order of Civil Merit by His Royal Highness Philip IV, King of Spain, in recognition of her outstanding contribution to the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325 on women, peace, and security. So I now call her to address this gathering and for us to listen attentively. I so thank you. Can we just rise?
Please, let's take our seats. Thank you very much, Governor, for that introduction. Honorable David Gertse, Governor of KHARAS region, local and regional councillors, leaders from the traditional authority, representatives of the private sector, senior government officials, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to us all. Thank you very much. Thank you, Governor, for welcoming us so warmly to this great region. And given that it's the first time that we are having a face-to-face encounter, let me also take the opportunity on my own behalf and my team to congratulate you on your well-deserved appointment as the Governor of KHARAS region. Before coming here, we had a brief exchange on what you have in store and how you see the region growing. And I think the President has really made a good choice for making you Governor of this region. I look forward to working with you as we are trying to catapult the KHARAS region to even greater heights. I also want to thank you. Thank you. I also want to thank you for the statement that was read yesterday in Lutherets by Honorable Susan Jalega, Councillor from the Naminus constituency. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we all recall that in putting together the new administration, Her Excellency the President, Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah, created the Ministry of International Relations and Trade, which is taking care of international relations, trade and investment. At the same time, she also created the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy. Now, we are mandated to basically negotiate market access and create a wide range of market access for Namibian producers and consumers to be able to sell, source products and inputs globally at competitive prices. Whereas the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy is to lead industrialization objectives of the government by supporting industries, SMEs, and putting in place policies that will increase production capacities and the diversification of products at the national level. In addition, the President has made it very categorically clear, and I think we all remember. She said that for us to increase service delivery to all our people, it cannot be business as usual. In other words, we have to do things differently in order to have different results. Hence, our engagement on this glorious afternoon is an initiative of the Ministry of International Relations and Trade, together with the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy, to reach out to local businesses and SMEs in all our 14 regions to foster a conducive business environment and enable the ministry to hear directly from businesses about their pain points such as regulatory hurdles, market access, and infrastructure deficits. To better understand the challenges faced by exporting businesses, MSMEs, and SMEs, and also to be exposed to opportunities that government might have overlooked in this region. Now, the initiative of reaching out is primarily informed by the theme, Unity in Diversity, Natural Resource Beneficiation, youth empowerment for sustainable development. I know we are all familiar with this theme, but I just want to unpack it a little bit, because I believe this is a theme that speaks to national cohesion, unity in diversity. In all the Namibian regions, 14 of them, they all have economic advantage. We need to harness the diverse but collective strength of all the 14 regions and create viable solutions that benefit the entire country. I think the governor has indirectly alluded to that. Then we now come to natural resource beneficiation. I think you agree with me that the more finished goods we export, the more jobs we create. We need to explore where additional jobs can be created in this region. What other sectors or products we might have overlooked in this region, and how we can unlock the economic potential of KHARAS region. On youth empowerment for sustainable development, what makes Namibia and Africa attractive to investors is our youthful population. And the governor has alluded to that, the lack of jobs, the lack of skills. So what we need to do is to upskill the youth with the requisite skills, but most importantly, to pair these skills to the opportunities that are in this region. Now, the economic viability of KHARAS region is multifaceted. You live here, you know them better than me, and the governor has also alluded to that. But let me just point out that this is a region that is home to significant mining operations, including zinc and diamond extractions. The region's agricultural potential, particularly in livestock farming and irrigation, in my view, has not even been scratched. It has immense potential. The proximity to the Orange River that the governor has spoken about enhances prospects for agricultural expansion and water-based infrastructure. Keetmanshoop itself, where we are today, plays a central role in Namibia's transport and logistic network. It connects the northern and southern corridor via road and rail, facilitating cross-border trade flows between Namibia and the SADC region, thus contributed to sub-regional integration. So as Namibia advances its industrialization agenda and deepens its engagement under the African Continental Free Trade Area, KHARAS region is poised to play a catalytic role, and my colleagues will talk about that later as they explain the African Continental Free Trade Area. Namibia's table grapes today, exports have surged. Today, Namibia ranks 17th globally in trade production thanks to this region. This was produced primarily in the Eastern Cape Valley, which is now becoming the epicenter of grape farming. The sector supports thousands of seasonal jobs and has also improved logistics through Walvis Bay and Cape Town, thus enhancing our export capacities and efficiency. To fully take leverage and advantage of the AfCFTA, Namibia must invest in trade facilitation and logistic infrastructure, harmonization of standards, market intelligence, and branding for African consumers, and support for value-added processing and packaging. Honorable Governor, as I come to the end of my remarks, we know very well What sets KHARAS region apart from the other 13 regions? Maybe the question that we need to ask ourselves is, what else can KHARAS region optimize and export besides the grapes, besides meat and livestock? What else can we do? What else can we explore from the products and services that the KHARAS region now is engaged with? What regional, what national, and continental value chains can KHARAS region engage in? Driving from the very local resources that this region has. And that is what business unusual is all about. Doing differently. Value chains are very important because they bring about industrialization. And we should not just look beyond our borders. Even among the 14 regions, we can have local value chains. And that is what I want us to talk about later. Honorable Governor, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I am confident that with the support of the Ministry of International Relations and Trade, collaborating with the Ministry of Industrialization, Mines and Energy, we can bring about industrialization in our country. We can make Namibia a sought-after destination of investment. We have the capacity to do it. Together, we can really upscale industrialization of this country. We just have to have a different mind shift. I look forward to the engagement that we are going to have later following the presentation, because we are here to listen. We are here to engage, to put heads together in order to bring about beneficiation to our natural resources, to create jobs, to create prosperity for all our people. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's give the Honorable Governor and our Honorable Minister another round of applause for the informative remarks. Thank you. And I think the Minister has clarified the reason why we are here and what is expected from all of us. So we move on with our program. Next on our program is going to be presentations by our stakeholders to deliberate actually more in detail on the opportunities offered by the AfCFTA. As I said in the beginning, these regional engagements serve as a platform to understand your challenges, pain point, and possible to hear your input on a type of support that you need from us and take advantage of this opportunity. So I kindly urge you to listen very carefully, attentively, jot down your questions, and at the time when you're going to have question and answer, you have your questions jot down. So without wasting time, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to call upon the first presenter, Mr. Asser Nashikaku. He is the Acting Deputy Director at International Trade and Investment in the Ministry of International Relations and Trade, to come and make his presentation. The floor is yours, Mr. Nashikaku. Give him a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director of Proceeding, and also allow me to then to stand on the protocol that have already been observed. Because of time, I'll be able then to make a presentation really about the Continental Free Trade Area. Good afternoon. First and foremost, probably just to indicate that the government have then negotiated what we call the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. And that agreement allows and will then allow market access of Namibian products into the continent. Previously, what have been happening, Africa have not been trading with each other as much as we're supposed to do. We have been trading with a third party. For example, our products have been going to Europe, to Americas, to the Asian countries, and we fail to trade with each other in Africa. So this important agreement have now been negotiated to allow Africa and also to allow Namibian products to move freely within the continent. Now, just a bit of background really, the negotiations have taken a long time, but we are now at the implementation stage, whereby the agreement was now concluded and that 555 member states have now negotiated this agreement. Of course, we only have one member state which did not sign on to the agreement, Eritrea. But of course, as far as Namibia is concerned, the agreement was then signed in 2018, Kigali, Rwanda, ratified in 2019. We moved first to gazette this particular agreement, and particularly on the Category A offers. In other words, the agreement have three sections, Category A, Category B, and Category C. And what is now then important is on the 30th of June, Namibia have then launched trade under the African Continental Free Trade Area. Now, the objective is there are really only three objectives that I should be able to highlight. One is really market access of Namibian products, market access within the continent. Two, attraction of investment within the continent. That is very much key. The third one is to industrialize Africa. Those were the three objectives why this particular agreement was actually negotiated. Well, I have to move fast. I think I've then mentioned this, maybe just to inform you that at least this particular market is huge because it consists of 1.2 billion people in Africa. So all our products can actually move freely within this particular market. In terms of the gross domestic product, it's 3.5 trillion US dollars. Now, what is that is being covered? Just to move faster. The stage one of negotiation really just covered trade in goods, trade in services, and then the rules and procedure for the settlement of disputes. That is the first phase. Then the second phase then also covered three aspects. One is the competition, one is the investment, and the third one is the intellectual property rights. And then there was a decision then made. How can we support the vulnerable members of the community within Africa? We then went to continue to negotiate the protocol on women and youth in trade, to facilitate trade, to ensure that this sector of our society should also benefit from the agreement. And then we went then for the protocol on e-commerce, what we also call digital trade. The implementation, I think Namibia then really moved fast to do the implementation processes. And that is also part of the implementation process. That then include awareness creation and other related matters. But the most important document that was then developed is what we call the implementation strategy and action plan. And that is to guide really the implementation of the AfCFTA agreement. I would really want to move then fast because there's a lot of presentation and then be able then to take up questions later. But there are a number of issues, the potential opportunities, particularly from this particular region, really to add value for our own produce here and then export elsewhere in Africa. The challenges have been addressed. Of course, there are a number of challenges that we can have, high competition, influx of goods. Some of the countries are much more developed than others. limited financing, loss of custom revenues for the country, but those issues have also been addressed. Because in negotiation, we did not just open up the Namibian markets for the influx of goods and services here. We also have to have a category that we have to safeguard the national economy. And that particular section of goods have then been placed in category C, which is excluded from trading for imports. Lastly, distinguished members, I think there are a number of tools that have also been developed, and probably just to highlight those, there is what we call an e-tariff book. We are going to share this information. You'll be able to know what products that Namibia is producing can go where. If you are producing maybe processed agricultural goods, where can it go? Which market in Africa? Nigeria, Uganda, or Ghana, or elsewhere. So there is a number of tools, but we are also going to experience a number of problems. You will have non-tariff barriers. Sometimes you take your products and you are going to face challenges at the border. So we have then developed a tool called the monitoring and evaluation and resolution of non-tariff barrier. That tool allows businesses really to be able to highlight their challenges so that this can actually be resolved. Lastly, probably just to touch on trading services because of the timing really. We have the 5 priority service sectors. The communication, it allows you now to really establish your communication industry within Africa. Transportation, we have it, tourism industry, business services, lawyers, teachers who does not have employment can actually use this particular agreement to go and check whether you can then deliver your services within Africa. So those are some of them, which is important, financial services as well, which is very much important. And I think this is where the opportunities lies. If you are actually engaging your business in trading services, the opportunity here is actually huge. With that, I should conclude and be awaiting for discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Nashikaku, for keeping to the time. We are going to keep the presentation short to the point so that we have more time for engagement. Next on our program, the presenter is going to be Mr. Rino Muranda. He's responsible for stakeholder relations from the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board to make his presentation. A round of applause, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and I would want to stand on the protocol that was ably established by our Director of Ceremony, and in the interest of time, also just say good afternoon. You are unable to hear? It's not very clear. Eh? Can we turn this? Can we turn this one? Okay. Now, thank you very much. I think I'll proceed. As was introduced, I am with the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Fund, Development Board, the NIBDB, and our mandate is investment promotion, development, and facilitation. That's the one side of it. The other side is the MSME, which is the micro, small, and medium enterprises development. So what do we do? we do basically three things. One is to attract, second is to bolster, third is to connect. And what are these activities that we are doing in order to achieve those mandate of ours? One, in terms of promotion, we do investment attracting through events and conferences, marketing, awareness creation, business to business meetings, business to government meetings, targeted promotion and missions. We also identify, package, showcase and champion investment-ready projects and connecting projects to institutional investors, skills and MSMEs. What we also do is, in terms of pipeline exploratory visits, information sharing, business registration, visa and permits applications, attainment of licenses, partnerships, and aftercare support for investors. We also do policy advocacy, which is basically advocating for policy frameworks to create ease of business. So what do we do then? As indicated on the previous slide, what we do in terms of facilitation is ensure that we develop a pipeline of investment projects that we basically showcase to potential investors. We also have a one-stop service where we have various ministries, offices, agencies together to ensure that we are providing a comprehensive service to the investors. For instance, Ministry of Home Affairs, NAMRA, all of them are housed together. If you need to register a business or you need a particular permit, basically the one-stop service center can facilitate that. We also retain and reinvest through aftercare visits. We do the improvement of credibility of investors that are in the country, as well as the ease of business, of doing business in Namibia. So our main objective in attracting local and foreign investment is basically job creation, export promotion, import substitution, and local supply chain development, amongst other things. Currently, we have an investment pipeline of about 224 million, of which 27% is in agriculture and around 26% is in renewable energy. The rest, I think, is made up of the other sectors. For us, the priority sectors for economic diversification is food industry. We are looking at services, transport and logistics, tourism and sports, and others. So what do we do? Just a quick overview of what we do for MSMEs. Currently, our plan is to graduate about 50% of the MSMEs that are in our database from the initial stage or size where they started to the next phase by 2028. We also want to unlock about 100 million worth of funding for the MSMEs and startup sector by 2028. We have currently an establishment of MSME database, around 10,000 of them, and business support organizations around, the database is around 3,000, and that also we plan to achieve by 2028. So our aim is to coordinate MSME and startup activities across all levels of the economy and support the implementation of the national MSME policy. The focus areas that we have for MSMEs is access to finance, information sharing, business development, scaling, startups, building networks, policy advocacy, as I said earlier on, and market access and export promotion, as the Minister earlier on indicated. These are some of the success stories that we have facilitated. The Benguela Blue Aqua Farm, the Salmon Project in Lutretz. We have the Kelp Blue Pilot Project also in Lutretz, and of course the Nopal Capon Farming that is in Malta here. So if you want to be part of this database, all you need to do then for investment opportunities, you can visit our website and get to that page that is displayed on your screen. Or for MSME services, you can then follow that link and you can register yourself to be part of this database. In the interest of time, this is where I'll stop and I'll be open for questions for further engagement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Moranda, for that presentation outlining the role of investment export in solving the challenges we face. So we move on with our program. The next presenter is from Namibia Revenue Agency. And I would like to call upon Ms. Thandi Hambira to make a presentation. A round of applause to Ms. Thandi as she make her way.
Good afternoon. Let me stand on the protocols as already observed by the Director of Ceremonies. And in the interest of time, just to go straight into my presentation. My name is Thandi Hambira. I'm the Manager for Rules of Origin, and I'm going to take you through Rules of Origin. Now, the question is, what is Rules of Origin? Now, there are different agreements, and each agreement basically contains rules of origin. In terms of the AfCFTA, rules of origin are a set of criteria or conditions that are used to determine whether or not goods qualified to be traded under a trade agreement receiving preferential treatment. Rules of origin as well determines the economic nationality of a product. Now, me and you, when we travel, we do have passports that indicate that we are nationals of Namibia. Now, for goods to trade as well and to be certified as being of Namibia, it needs a certificate of origin. So that's where rules of origin comes in. And it's basically to ensure that when our products are traded across our borders with member states or state parties under the AfCFTA, that they are then accorded the preferential treatment that is due. It's either duty-free or it can be a reduced rate of duty. Now, why is it important? Sometimes, when goods are traded, it's not only to get preferential treatment, but it's also to promote industrialization. It's to ensure value addition. I'm sure when we listened to the Honorable Minister when she gave her statement here, she emphasized on value addition. Now, rules of origin also emphasize the aspect of value addition as a qualifying criteria, and then also to ensure economic diversification of our products. Now, how do we then determine the origin of goods under the AfCFTA? There are two main criteria under the AfCFTA. The one is that either the goods that we trade with other state parties are wholly obtained, or then there is a substantial transformation in the product that we so wish to trade with other countries. Now, the first one, wholly obtained, when we hear the word wholly obtained already, it indicates that it's a product that is naturally occurring here in Namibia, meaning it's either animals that are born and raised here, it's products from agriculture that was harvested here, from seeds that were actually planted here. We can import the seeds from any of the state parties or outside the state parties, but as long as the seeds are planted here, and then we harvest the products thereof. And then obviously our fish that are caught in our territorial waters, our minerals, our diamonds, those are all naturally occurring products, and those are then termed wholly obtained. Now, we do know that we do have fish in our ocean, Walvis Bay, Lüderitz, but it just doesn't end there. in as much as we do have fish, the rules of origin are very particular in that it states that in order for that fish to qualify, the vessel that catches this fish must be registered in Namibia. It must sail under a Namibian flag, or otherwise, at least 50% of the officers of that vessel should be Namibian. Or then it goes further. Officials normally are your captains, the high officers. But then it also states that at least 40% of the crew members must be Namibian nationals. And then it also goes further to say, if then it's a factory ship, it's a vessel, the ownership in terms of equity holding, 50% thereof must be Namibian in order to then qualify. Then we come to the other leg. We had the wholly obtained, now we have the substantial transformation. Now when we hear the word substantial or transformation, it indicates that there should be a change in the product that we are trading. So in terms of that, there are specific criteria that must be fulfilled. And one of them is that there are specific processes that must be subscribed to or that must be met. And then there must either be a change of tariff in terms of the HS commodity codes that is globally accepted or applied. And then there must be value addition. Again, the word value addition. Then there is a portion where non-originating materials are also considered for the final product. I'll go in depth as I'm explaining. Now with specific processes, there are certain processes that does not constitute originality. That is basically slaughtering. We know we have cattle, right? But if you just slaughter a cattle and want to export, it would not qualify. Specific processes, if it's something else, another product, polishing would not qualify. But then we have diamonds. Now with diamonds, there's a specific rule that if you cannot do the cutting, we have rough diamonds, and we cannot cut the diamonds into a particular shape, or we cannot polish it here. It's polished in the next member state. It would still qualify because of the diamonds, but that would not be the same for any other product. And then we have the substantial transformation, also change in tariff heading. We can, for instance, import grapes from Brazil, and then have sulfur dioxide imported from Zambia, perhaps the bottles from South Africa, and then make the wine here. That wine would qualify as a Namibian originating product because the final processes were carried out in Namibia. And there was a change in tariff heading from the imported goods to the final product. Under substantial transformation, again, the word value addition, we want to add value, isn't it? But then there's a requirement that if we add value, at least 40% of that value must be added locally. So there is a formula where you calculate the ex-works price, all your inputs, the local inputs, and then you divide it with the value, the imported value, the value that you actually add here in Namibia, and then that would then constitute or allow that product to be certified as originating in Namibia. The rules of origin are also as such that there is products that can be manufactured with non-originating materials, because as we know in Namibia, we do not have that much raw materials, and so all the other member states perhaps. But in this instance, if you import goods from other member states in order to make a final product, you are then allowed to use a certain percentage of non-originating materials as long as it meets the product-specific rule. Now, for you to apply to export your goods under the AfCFTA, you are required then to register with NAMRA. Either you are an exporter, you are a manufacturer, you are a trader, you register with us. You will complete the manual application form, give us all the required information that is required. Once we get that, we'll do a verification. Either we'll do a documentary verification, or depending on the product that you wish to export, we will do a physical verification at your premises and see whether the production is in line with the requirements. Now, once we have satisfied ourselves as to whether you meet the origin criteria, we would then register you as an exporter and give you a unique registration number. Now, for you to register, there are requirements that you need to meet. Now, what are these requirements for you to export? You need to have a company registration certificate, obviously obtained from BIPA. We would need a brief company profile. If and when there's export permits required, that should also be submitted. When fish, for instance, is exported, we would need proof of right holding, proof of your identity, a certificate of good standing with NAMRA, because we would want to make sure that you are in good standing, and then a supplier's or a producer's declaration to say that I am the supplier, because sometimes it might not be the producer who exports. So if you buy something local from a local manufacturer, we would then need that supplier's declaration, and then obviously the manufacturing processes that should also be attached. Now, once we have satisfied ourselves with what is submitted to us, you would be issued with a certificate of origin that you would complete. We would ensure that all the particulars are correctly completed as per the CERT 500 that you would attach. And then, once we have satisfied ourselves, we will then authenticate, stamp, and sign your certificate of origin. And now for those who have not seen the certificate of origin, that's the AfCFTA's certificate of origin. To date, we only had one export. We have 4 registered under the AfCFTA, but it's only one export under the AfCFTA that went out of Namibia through the port of Walvis Bay. And our next engagement, we would be happy to really certify something that is coming out of the KHARAS region, also going across our borders, certified as a Namibian originating product. And with that, I thank you, and I'll be open for questions after the session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Ambira, for clarifying the rule of origin that determine the economic nationality, the origin of the product or services. We move on with our presentation, and the last presenter is by Mr. Phineas Shinyala. He's from the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy, for the presentation to outline the opportunities and programs offered by his ministry. The floor is yours. Let's keep the presentation short to allow our audience to ask questions later. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Phineas Jonas Shinyala. I am from the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy. Before I go into my presentation, I would want to recognize the presence of our Honorable Minister of International Relations and Trade, who is heading our delegation today. And thank you very much for doing that for us. I have to run through a very long presentation, but I have to make it short because we are required to make sure that most of the time is dedicated to the question and answers and discussions we must have after my presentation. My presentation, maybe let me say, my presentation will cover the programs that the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy has in the area of industrial development and also in the area of SME development. For me to be quick, maybe I would just go into the programs quickly so we can finalize this and go to the questions. I have got in the industrial policy, or industrial development policy, we have the following programs that are mainly to support big industries. The first program we have is sites and premises. It is very well known in the country. It's because through this program we build industrial parks and SME parks. Mainly we work with regional councils, municipalities, and also offices of the councillors to be able to put up these industrial parks. Through this, we have built around 148 industrial parks and SME parks throughout the country. Secondly, I want to move to next program, which is industrial upgrading and the modernization program. This is a grand program that supports big manufacturers with technology improvement, skills, and also expansion of factories. And I'm sure some of our colleagues here that have been assisted with that program might be able to know what is it. The third one is special economic zones. Special economic zones, I want to go to the next slide. It is a new program that comes in a segment of independent policy. And the idea is to offer a special economic zone a facility to investors, not only international investors, but also local investors. And the idea is to make sure that these investors provide us a range of benefits, and also in that process we also give them some incentives to do so. In terms of benefits, we are looking at attracting foreign and domestic investments for economic growth, decent employment, creation, skills transfer, development also, and we also look at the local content, which means they have to find a way to connect their industrial activities to, in terms of sourcing from our SMEs or from local businesses. We also try to support or to obtain attract investments in green industries and carbon-free activities that might help to develop our country in a more environmental friendly manner. On the other hand, the incentives we offer a corporate tax at around 20%, custom duties is negotiable. VAT exemptions might also be discussed and see how much we can offer to them. And we offer accelerated depreciation and green industry support. On the SME area, we have got around 5 programs. We have got equipment aid scheme. The equipment aid scheme is very popular. Most people understand the procedures, how to apply, and most of our SMEs get support on equipment on this program. Gemstone cutting and polishing is a program under which we train, especially women and youth, regarding obtaining skills to be able to classify gemstones, to be able to classify and cut and polish gemstones is also applicable to diamonds. So as a consequence, almost every year we train young people and women at about 50 people, at the rate of about 50 people per year. Also, people who want to do business in this segment also go through our training. Value chain development is also an upcoming program that will support activities mainly in areas where we see that there is a concentration of SMEs like cosmetics, like water producing is coming also up with in a very intense investment. We also have Impretech in the process. Impretech program is also an entrepreneurship program in a way. It is a program through which we train people, business people, on skills on how to run your business, or on how to manage your finances, on how to organize your accounting system in your enterprises, and so on. We also try to include incubation under this program and so many other activities that are coming. We hope soon we will be able to see a program that is well expanded and providing a variety of activities. Before I go into the end of the presentation, I want to also present to you that in Kitmansop we have got a well-staffed regional office that can also assist in all of these activities. My officials are here. Maybe they can stand up for the Honorable Minister to see them, and also for your benefit as well. Colleagues, you can stand up. Yeah, those are the officials in Kitmansop. We have got a chief economist. Mr. Mukosho is a chief economist. We have got my friend, you can say your name. Desmond. Yes, the office is in the city center. Please approach the office and make sure that you get all the services you need as entrepreneurs. Whatever they cannot be able to do from Windhoek, we are able to assist them, and that will be a very good service we are providing to the region. On the other hand, I think I have to conclude by saying that SME activities and industrial development activities are very expensive exercise. We are still struggling, working hard to obtain more resources to be able to deepen our support and achieve the goals of industrialization and SME development. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shiala, for that another informative presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, are we still together? Yes, you are listening, eh? Very good. So that brings us to the end of our presentation by our stakeholders. At this juncture, let me indicate that the live streaming will only cover this opening session until to the vote of thanks. And after that, we will excuse our media partners, and then we go straight into the closed session, where we're going to deliberate more, ask questions and networking with you, the community, the SME, together with our Honorable Minister and the stakeholders. With that said, now it's my pleasure to call upon Honorable Lazarus Nangolo from the KHARAS Regional Council to give us a vote of thanks. Honorable, the floor is yours. A round of applause, please, as he makes his way to the podium. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Director Proceeding, for giving me this opportunity. And I must say thank you also for the Minister to coming to our region. Of course, joining our Honorable Governor for welcoming you and the entire team. I should stand on the protocol just only after I recognize the Minister, Honorable Ashipala Musavi. Dear member of the community, I think all of these days we have been so lucky to have most of our senior government officials to come to our region and present with a vast information which really equipping our community, and we really need to utilize it to our full capacity. Because I can see since we start with the statistic and coming yesterday to the oil and gas, then today we are here with the Ministry of International Relations and Trade. I am standing here to move the vote of thanks on behalf of our chairperson of the KHARAS Regional Council, Honorable Joseph Isaac. Honorable Minister, the chairperson will give apology. We have been having a special council meeting with regard to our approving of the budget. It was a bit late, and therefore we make it in order to ensure that the implementation of the project is going ahead. He's not feeling okay, that's why he could not come here, and he delegated. So therefore I'm giving apology on behalf of him. Honorable Minister, senior government official, representative of the public sectors, esteemed business owner and entrepreneurs, producers, Chamber of Commerce and Industry representative, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I hope our traditional leaders, they are also here probably today. I recognize you. Good afternoon. It is both an honor and a privilege for me, on behalf of the KHARAS Regional Council, to deliver this vote of thanks at the conclusion of this important regional business engagement. Firstly and foremost, I wish to express our sincere gratitude to Honorable Ambassador Selma Ashipala Musavi, the Ministry of International Relations and the Trade. Your presence in the KHARAS region today is a clear demonstration of your commitment toward your involvement with the business community for this economic development of our country. I also wish to thank Honorable David Helte, the Governor of Great KHARAS region, for a well-informative statement on the African Continental Free Trade Area. Allow me also to thank the local and the regional councillors, as well as traditional authority leaders present here today. Furthermore, I would like to thank the private sector representative, entrepreneurs, producers, and the business leaders for engaging openly, sharing your experience and contribution meaningfully today's discussion. Your voice are key to shaping a stronger and more resilient Namibian economy. I know we will be going to engage quickly after this. I do not want to forget the Chamber of Commerce and the Industry and all other stakeholders. Your participation is highly valued. You continue to play a crucial role in strengthening the link between government and the business community. Lastly, but not least, let me also acknowledge the organizer and the facilitator behind today's event for ensuring that everything runs smoothly and professionally. Lastly, I wish to thank the Namibian Broadcasting, NBC, for partnering with the Ministry of International Relations and the Trade by live broadcasting this important engagement. In conclusion, I wish to reaffirm the commitment of the Office of the Governor to support such engagement now and in the future. We stand ready to collaborate with all stakeholders to foster inclusive economic growth and sustainable development in our region and beyond. Once again, thank you all for your participation and dedication. Let us move forward together, united in purpose and committed to build a prosperous Namibia for all. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nangolo, for thanking us all. Thanking us all. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the opening session of the 7th Ministerial Regional Business Engagement. And can I kindly ask you to rise for the AU and National Anthem? You may be seated. And this is where we also say goodbye to our own. We are just closing for the media.